Hi, I'm Ellen Kirkwood. I'm a composer, trumpeter, and I wrote a 1-hour suite for Sirens Big Band entitled Apart. The band was formed in 2010 by Jessica Dunn and Harry Harding. Most of the time when you see large ensembles of this sort, and even, just smaller jazz ensembles, the instrumental musicians are mostly men. So this was a way to buck the trend of the predominantly male membership of the jazz community, both just in Sydney and in Australia at large. We also emphasised, having our own sound, which was a really colourful blend of jazz in a sort of traditional sense, as well as other types of music from around the world. So yeah, we quite quickly sort of developed a repertoire of quite distinctive music that I think a lot of people really enjoy listening to. I began composing Apart in 2016 when I won a mentorship grant with composer-pianist Barney McCall. Throughout my time learning from Barney, I learnt so much, particularly about where ideas can come from and how to develop them and how to sort of experiment with them to help develop the work as a whole. Apart is split into 4 parts. It's a comment on the various kinds of connections and disconnections that people around the world have with issues such as climate change, the refugee crisis, and also the nature of the internet and how it both connects and divides us in many different ways. The first part is about the internet. Basically, there are 2 sections within it. Wonder and Malignance, I call them. And yeah, it's sort of about how promising and wondrous the internet is, and particularly in its early days, but also how there's a lot of dodginess, there's a lot of sinister things, viruses and misinformation. The second part is called On the Refugee Crisis. The first section is basically me trying to imagine what it might be like to be a refugee going through some really stressful decisions and the events that might lead them to flee their country. The second section is basically an expression of my rage at the way that many refugees have been treated around the world. These people are human beings, and we need to have hope and keep striving to make things better for them. Part 3 is about greed and climate change. There's music that sort of comments on the absurd greed of people who deny climate change and, put their head in the sand. Versus the actual reality of climate change and the huge force of it and the huge danger of it. Part 4, it's sort of reflecting upon these things and musing on what we could do next, how we can react to it, how we can act against some of these issues around the world. I had so much fun writing Apart. There were just moments where the ideas flowed and it almost sort of took on a life of its own without me really feeling like I was even trying. I guess sometimes people talk about the flow state. I think that probably that's what was happening. It was difficult sometimes. You can't be too attached to ideas because you have to be open to your plan changing spontaneously in some way. The work also features 3 incredible jazz musicians. They are Sandy Evans on saxophones, Andrea Keller on piano, and Jan Slater on vocals. It was a real honour and a privilege to work with some of the best talent in the country. And they brought so much beauty and power and energy to my work, and just lifted it to places that are just really special. So I'm endlessly grateful to them. The album was recorded in 2018 at 301 Studios in Sydney by the amazing Bob Scott, and he was assisted by Owen Butcher. The band was all in the room together. No headphones or anything, we just wanted to make it as performance-like as possible. In 2018, we won a grant to tour apart as a way of getting it to different audiences and also launching the album. The grant was given to us generously by the Australia Council for the Arts. The tour included 3 performances. The first was at Wangaratta Jazz Festival in November 2018. Also in November 2018, we performed at the Sydney International Women's Jazz Festival. And in early 2019, we performed it at the Blue Mountains Theatre in Springwood. In 2017, I was a finalist for the prestigious Friedman Jazz Fellowship Award, largely on the strength of Apart. Apart was also a finalist for the APRA Art Music Awards Jazz Work of the Year in 2018. And in 2019, I won the New South Wales Award for Jazz Excellence, largely because of Apart. There's a lot of different ways that music and the arts in general can engage with issues and hopefully help people to reflect upon them, or at least think about them a little bit differently. I think that we have to have hope, because if we don't try to mend these issues, then what is there? And I think there is hope, but there's a lot of work to be done.